Hi, I'm Dave here, and this is episode 1 of the art tutorial series. And I think I'm going to do these sorts of videos live, because I've seen a lot of art tutorials online, and they're pretty kind of concise and very short, kind of straight to the point. I don't think I'll be that kind of guy, so I'll generally be doing things live. I think it's more efficient for me to do it that way, and yeah. So today I'm going to try and teach you how to color a black and white sketch, a pure black and white sketch with photos using the blending modes in Photoshop. So it's going to be a rather specific art tutorial. So I'm actually going to start this by actually sketching something in black and white, and then we'll work our way towards a colored kind of sketch. And okay. So we'll keep it simple. We'll use a simple round brush, and we'll use the background layer to paint in, and we'll try to figure out some kind of design. I don't really have anything in mind, but we can figure things out as we go. Very random kind of shapes, and we are going to focus more on a pure black and white sketch, because sometimes what can get categorized as a black and white sketch are sketches that do have a lot of values in between. They're almost like grayscale value paintings, and we're going to be very specific and keep it very simple, right? You know what, maybe I should have thought of something beforehand, because holy shit. You know what, not bad. Let's try to make some kind of environment. I think I'll stick to some kind of environment. Okay, I like the shape. Maybe we can bring this more forward or upper, or more up, right? And I think I'm going to try and limit this kind of art tutorial video to an hour. I think that's a good amount of time. It's pretty long for a video, I guess, for a normal kind of art tutorial video on YouTube, but yeah, I want to be a bit more different. Oof. Some of you may not like the fact that it's kind of an hour long, but maybe for some of you, if you want to have kind of a live, kind of real-time kind of environment, I think, or real-time kind of tutorial, sorry, I think I may be able to meet your needs. Alright? So not sure what this is, but I think it's some kind of environment. Very random kind of shapes, but we'll see what we can do. And usually for black and white or pure black, oh shit, why do you keep doing? For pure black and white sketches, or kind of graphical types of sketches, they're usually kept very simple, and you're kind of just figuring out the kind of the main idea, and you don't actually have to figure everything out in the beginning. So I'm actually pretty excited for this kind of series, because obviously this is my first one, and yeah, I can always kind of change things as I go in this kind of series, right? And improve things along the way. You know what, this kind of thing in the background should be left in the background, I think. Not sure what I'm doing here, but you know what, let's zoom out. Flip the canvas. I do have a shortcut for that. For me it's F1. You do have to change or set your own shortcut. For me, I do have F1 as my shortcut. Okay, I think we should focus more on the big kind of brush strokes, right? and be kind of wary of going into detail since this is a kind of... So it's been 5 minutes so far. Okay, not bad. Not bad. This could be some kind of building, right? Maybe... Not sure what this is. Oh, it's not exactly a white. Sorry. Okay. So I think this is a good enough kind of black and white sketch. A very kind of rough idea of a thing. You know what? Let's fix the background a bit. It's kind of not... I don't like it. Right? So you can do that. Maybe add one more here. Just to kind of balance it out a bit. Okay, that's good enough. Right? Maybe add some blacks here. Some blacks here. Maybe these could be some kind of a foliage or something. Trees, perhaps. Oops, that's too small of a brush. Okay, again, we're focusing on how to color a black and white sketch. So let's not spend too much time on this sketch. So it's been 6 minutes. I don't like it. You know what? Fuck it. It's good enough. Alright. Fuck. Stop, Dave. God. Okay. So let's assume this is your black and white sketch and you want to be able to color this thing with a photo. And let's say your photo is this thing. And let's say you love the kind of color scheme of this photo and you want to be able to apply that onto your own sketch. I think it's a good idea to kind of separate the process a bit and focus on each value at a time. So in this case, we do have two values, the black, oh my god, the black, right? And the white. So what we can do first, you can either pick one to work on first. But for now, I think we can pick or you have to pick one to color first, I think. And let's say you want to kind of figure out the whites. Maybe that's better. What you would have to do is select the photo and go in on the blending modes and hit any of these 5. You can kind of see a line in the blending modes kind of dialog pop-up box. And you can cycle through the darken, the multiply, the color burn. Oh shit, it doesn't work. Fuck. The linear burn or the darker color. What these do generally in this area is it tackles everything in white or whatever's kind of lighter, right? Compared to the, we'll focus on that later. So right now we're focusing on the white. So what we'll do, if we want to tackle the whites, we have to focus on this side of the blending modes. So maybe I think we can stick with the multiply mode, right? You know what? Fuck it. Darken. All you have to do is, you know what? Let's duplicate this and make a new copy. We can manipulate the photo to kind of find the right... what you're doing here is creating some kind of a base color scheme so you can paint on top of it. That's kind of how I see it. You can do this with just random brushes, but right now we're focusing on how to color a black and white sketch with a photo. Assuming you want to take away the color scheme of the photo, right? And by just dragging the photo onto into your Photoshop file. So now that we have that covered, if you're not kind of satisfied, now I did turn that smart object into a rasterized kind of version. What you can do is select the parts you like, right? Control Shift C, Control Shift V, and what that can do, set that again to the darken, right? What that does is you can bring some of that and kind of extend that further up, right? Now I do want the sky to show a bit in the background, so we can hit the E for the erase tool, right? And just kind of, you know what, let's use a soft brush. We want to show off the sky a bit because I do like the sky, and we can kind of bring it back. Let's use this brush, softer brush, right? Kind of do that. Okay, to me that's good enough. Now that we have the kind of the colors set on the whites, we want to be able to bring some colors onto the blacks. And to do that, we can hit this photo again, duplicate it. I think it's Ctrl J to duplicate this, to duplicate the layer, and go to the blending modes and hit any of these these things in the bottom, right? Lighter color? Shit. Okay, so this is not going as planned because I don't have a plan for this tutorial, but I do have a technique. I just fucked up, I think. You know what? Let's bring this down so it's kind of a merged thing. And now we can focus. Oh my god, what am I doing? Maybe it's... Nope, it has to be this. You know what? I think I fucked up, folks. I fucked up. Okay, we settled this. Settled this part. However, we need to figure out. Oh my god. Let's just delete this photo. Fuck it. You know what? Let's try something different. We can... hide this kind of version and unhide this new version and set this one on the lighten. Any of these kind of 5 blending modes on this kind of side, you can tell, or just take note of these sorts of lines kind of separating the blending modes, because they're kind of similar in terms of the way they work. So we'll click on the, if you're trying to work on the darks, make sure you click on these to lighten the darks. So right now I think we can use the linear dodge, and maybe we have to start with the lighten. Oh no, what am I doing? You know what, and let's click Ctrl L and try to pump up or darken up this thing, right? Because it's kind of too light for me. And you have to be able to learn how to play with the levels. Let's lighten it up. Increase the kind of gray or blacks. Not too much. We want to have that bit of texture, but not too much. Okay, that's good enough. And then we can hit Ctrl T and extend it more, perhaps. Okay. I'm sorry guys, I do have this figured out, but you know, we're going at this without a plan. Oh my god, how did I do it? I was able to do like a series of sketches with this. Oh my god. Oh, I know. Let's make this a new version. We can hit Ctrl A, Ctrl Shift C to copy everything in this kind of selection, and then hit Ctrl V, and now you have a flattened version of the thing. So hopefully this works. So this is the old version where we had the blending modes on darken, or the blending mode on darken to kind of color in the white. So we'll see how it works with the with this kind of flattened version, kind of a mix, the flattened version of both of these layers. What am I doing wrong? Oh, you know what? I don't think I'm wrong. Maybe I just need to decrease the okay. It just looked so mixed to me. You don't even have to flatten the entire thing, right? So So all you have to do is Control T. Oh shit. So let's say you didn't have the flattened version and you started to color the blacks first to kind of add some texture and bring in some of the colors from your chosen photo. What you can do next is create a new layer or create a new kind of duplicate of the photo and bring that blending mode to a kind of darken or any of these sort of things to color in the whites, right? And from there, what you can do is change the levels so you can actually see the change. Okay, so this is how I did it. I'm sorry. All right, okay. So I think this is a good kind of lightness, but I want to bring some contrast a bit. Hit the grays, hit the whites, hit the blacks. Good. Make it lighter just a bit. Oh, no. Bring down the blacks a bit. More grays, more whites. Because I do want to see more of the texture. And yeah, so you have to make sure that there's some kind of contrast so you can actually see the kind of variations. So make sure you do play with the levels by hitting Control L on the photo. So I think that's good enough, right? Oh, it works. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're not as pissed. Okay, so now that we have this, we can start actually painting on top of it, right? Alright, so just to recap, once you have a black and white sketch, make sure, of course, the black and white sketch, if you're trying to do a black and white sketch, fuck, what's my point? Oh my, let's say you have a black and white sketch and it only has two values, white and black, and you want to be able to color your black and white sketch and kind of start developing the color schemes from the very kind of initial phase of your artwork or painting, and then you want to be able to develop it as you go, but you want to be able to color that black and white sketch in the very beginning, right? So here's how you can approach it. You can focus on the blacks or the whites first. So let's say you want to focus on coloring in the blacks, kind of filling in some color on the black parts of this sketch of yours. Bring in the photo and then set the photo to any of these. If you're trying to focus on the blacks and kind of color in the blacks, make sure you want to lighten the blacks by bringing in lighten, screen, color dodge. It won't always work, but generally the blending modes within these 5 will work. So I think I did use, you know what, let's do screen. So that works, and now you have a colored black, right? That's pretty much all you did. Now you can play with the opacity so it won't be as kind of filled up, and you can make it darker, and you can also again play with the levels by hitting Control L, right? And you can play with everything in this kind of a dialog box, right? So once you've colored the darks, you want to be able to bring in some colors on the whites. So again, make sure you have another version of the photo, an original version, and then you want to bring that into the darken, or any of these 5 above, the darken, the multiply, the color burn. Oh, it doesn't work for this one, but linear burn and darker color. You know what, let's use darker color, just cause. And what you want to be able to do is darken the whites, so make sure you hit any of these 5 above and try to cycle through which one works the best. So for now, we'll hit darker color, and that works for me. However, I don't like how it's turning out right now. I feel like I should expand this a bit. Control T and kind of do that, because you know what, I don't think I'm doing it or approaching this the right way. I do want that, or I do want the sky in the background, but the building seems too dark for me. So what can I do? I can hit M, select the area in the middle. Now note you are actually just affecting this photo, right? And what you want to do is hit Control B or Control U and kind of lighten it a bit. Maybe increase the saturation a bit. Maybe change the hues. I actually do like the original kind of color, but I think we can make it redder, just a bit more warm, I guess. And maybe some levels, Control L, and oh, it's not working. Holy shit, why is it not working? Fuck it. Okay, that's enough. So it's a little better now, I guess. So what we can do, once we've colored once we've brought in some nice hues in the blacks and in the whites, based on the photo you chose. It doesn't have to be just one photo. You can bring in 2 photos if you want, but that's the idea. Make sure you play with this side of the blending modes if you want to darken or color a lighter area, usually a white kind of area, and focus on these 5 when you want to bring in colors on darker areas. In this case, the blacks, right? So now that that is done, we can put or group this guy and just call it kind of a color base. And now you can actually start to paint on top. So technically we've pretty much done or colored this thing, but of course I think I should show you at least how I paint. Let's use a simple brush like a circle, round brush. And from here, once you've established a kind of the color scheme with this kind of method using the photo plus the blending modes, attacking both the blacks and the whites, you can actually start, you know what, let's make this a group and call it paint over. Right? So now you can actually start to paint and develop this idea as you go. So we're going to limit this tutorial to an hour. So let's try developing this piece or painting over this sketch within 10 minutes. We'll see what we can come up with. Right? We'll do a very simple paint over. Or you know what? Shit. I think it's much better if we don't put if we don't paint over just yet. Or make a new layer, hit Ctrl G to put that into a group, and we'll use an adjustment layer and hit on the levels. Now the reason why I'm doing this is I want to set the atmosphere and create some depth before I actually start painting. And I think this is the right way to go. So what you can do with this kind of level, so by the way, a nice trick to kind of help with your levels is to hit the adjustment layers and hit on the black and white, put it on top of your Photoshop file or your kind of layering system, lock it to be safe, and unlock it, set the blending mode to color, because I don't know why you have to put it on color, but that's how I learned it. And I actually learned this from an architectural visualization kind of a video, but that's how they did it, right? And it helps you to see the gray values of your painting. So once in a while you can kind of hide and unhide this layer to kind of just check your values. And we'll use this specifically for our adjustment layers, specifically the levels one, to kind of play with our depth, right? Or atmosphere. So we'll click on the black and white, and it will we'll play out the levels or play with the leveling. Let's make it lighter, right? And I do like this kind of value for the background, so we can hit Control I to reverse the mask right here, right? Yeah, reverse the mask, and then use a soft brush, and then make sure you have white on, because if you're using some kind of mask, that's kind of how it works. You can either unhide or show something using a black or white. If you want to hide something, use black. If you want to show something, use white. So now that we have the soft brush and now that we have white selected, we could start to show off that value change with the adjustment layer. So the only thing that's being affected right now is the part we're painting white, as you can see right here. Right? So this actually does help to put the background further back, right? If you zoom out, because if you take notice of the values right now, it almost looks like it's kind of in one space. But if you kind of lighten the background a bit with some value changes, you can kind of put it further back, right? And if it's not working, you can go back to the adjustment layer and kind of bring and adjust the values even more. Yep, I think that's better, right? I like it. Perfecto. Let's do one more and we'll try to bring or make the foreground slightly darker, because that's usually how it works. The things closer to you are generally darker or have at least more contrast, right? So we'll click the level... Shit. Where is... Oh god. And then we'll bring up the contrast a bit using or by clicking this kind of mid point and bringing it slightly up and adjusting the lighter parts to make it more contrasted, I guess. Hit Control I on this thing, make sure you're selected, or make sure your adjustment layer is selected. Control I. And now we want to bring out the parts or show the parts that's more contrasted. Now we have the same brush selected, a soft brush, and then make sure you have white selected and you can start making the foreground darker. Now we haven't even painted anything yet per se, but our piece does have a little more contrast. You know what? I don't think contrast is enough. I think we actually have to go back and darken the entire thing just a bit. Hit Control I and then show with the white selected, or with the white color selected, and with the soft brush tool we can, oh okay, works better. We can make it even darker, right? And now there is some kind of depth going on in this thing, right? And maybe we don't actually need this guy, maybe just a bit. You could go back and adjust the adjustment layer right here with the dialog box settings, or just decrease the opacity, and that's usually how I do it. Good enough. We can call this the atmosphere, right? Atmosphere, okay. So we have a black and white sketch. We added a color base. Black and white sketch. We added a color base by painting in or bringing in some color with some photos and focusing on the blacks first and then focusing on the whites, right? And then kind of playing with the levelings and some color balance by hitting Control B to kind of play, or Control U. I think I hit Control U to kind of play with the saturation a bit for this building in the center. And once I did that, once I brought in some colors from the photos with the blending modes, I can go at it again and add a series of layers tackling the atmosphere to kind of help bring in some depth or atmosphere, right? So it actually looks more like an actual environment. So from here, we do have the black and white adjustment layer as kind of a guide set on the color blending mode. I guess it's to make it more accurate. And from here, we can actually start painting. Now it's 29 minutes. I think we can spend the rest of the video just developing this kind of concept, right? Control Alt N, Control G to group it, and now we can actually call this layer the paint over, right? Paint over. Okay, let's start painting. Let's make sure we have the layer selected, and we'll hit this brush. It does have some noise. By the way, if you want this brush pack, just go to the Gumroad, and it's actually for free. Just get the Essentials brush pack, and you can get the brushes that I use for this video demo. All right, 30 minutes. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's kind of right. Okay. We're going to bring some of these darks on top. This could be some kind of antenna, a weird looking antenna. We'll try to fix the edges a bit. Oh, this could be some kind of a building set on a cliff. Very interesting design. Right? Let's erase this part and you know what, let's hit the lasso tool, and Feng Zhu does this a lot, where he plays with the kind of atmosphere and adds a few fogs here and there. Let's kind of set this part apart from the building. Hit B, find a soft brush, and bring in some nice... Let's set the opacity to 20%. Right? I think that helps to kind of put this building further back a bit. Okay. Wow. This could be some kind of sci-fi thing. Hit the... You know what? Let's use a simpler brush. Circle brush, right? Without noise, just a basic brush. And now that we have that, we can start defining. I'm kind of all over the place right now, but we can figure things out as we go. Oh, I do like the way this edge is very kind of clear, right? And you can do that, make it clearer. And what you're trying to do at this phase is kind of destroy or eliminate the photo. At least it's well, not eliminate, but you want to use the colors. You don't actually have to paint over every single thing, because you probably want to keep some of that kind of texture, right? Because it looks cool and everything. Right? And my XP pen is lagging. It does this from time to time. Oh, fuck my life. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, but we can kind of wait for this, because right now my pen is actually not on the tablet, and right now it's just kind of randomly out and about on my screen. So yeah, essentially the tutorial is over at this point. What we're doing now is just painting over it and trying to clean up and develop the design even more. Oh shit, oh my god, it's still... Fuck, come on, speed the fuck up, man. It doesn't always do this, but sometimes it, oh my... Come on! Are we back? Okay, fuck. Let me just pause this for a... Okay, we're back. Whew. Sorry about that kind of weird event. So this is our progress so far. Let's figure out this foreground first, right? With the simple circle brush, and right. So I think it's also best to do things step by step and not focus too much on the details when you're doing your paint over phase. At least the first part, you want to be able to settle on a kind of design, I think, right? And kind of fix the major kind of parts of this thing. Right? And I think if you're kind of stunned or you don't really know where to go when it comes to painting over something, just kind of keep moving the pen around and kind of let the art just kind of happen. And because you won't always have a clear idea of what you're doing, but with the process of just painting and just putting the paint on the canvas, it kind of just develops on its own. Of course, sometimes you want to be more specific, but sometimes I think it's okay and very cool if you just kind of let the paint. Oh, there's no sky. Let's hit a lighter value and kind of add in some nice kinds of a sky or clouds, right? Sorry, fuck. Make it kind of whiter a bit. You know what? Bring in some pinks, right? Bring in some pinks or some purples. Ooh, it's too saturated, just a bit, right? But it's a sunset kind of environment, so we'll bring in some yellows or oranges and kind of implant it on the clouds a bit. I think it's too strong. Yeah, but I think that's okay. And I think this is a kind of a good idea if you're doing some kind of sketch, right? Bringing in a photo and using that as a kind of color base helps you to save time, I guess. We can try to fix this a bit because I don't like it. Ouch. Let's kind of clean up the edge here, make it straighter, right? Bring in some lines. Now I am kind of detailing this a bit, which I should kind of avoid for now, because I need to focus on the big picture stuff first. Let's hit or make the opacity just 10% to kind of push some of this further back, and just hit the color of the sky and kind of just do that. And now the opacity of the brush is set at 10% right now. So yeah, okay, a little better. Okay. Not sure what this thing actually is. This could be some kind of station, right? And you know what? Let's bring in some, or use the lasso tool to kind of add in the windows and shit, right? And then we'll kind of use a dark kind of thing. It's not too dark, and then make sure we have a very kind of strong, come on, hue to kind of show off the sun. Right? kind of like that. Is it working? Kind of. Fuck. Alright, let's do that. Do the same thing. Do that. Do that. And paint in some very kind of powerful reflections. Kind of suggesting the window panes of this station. It's actually not a bad looking concept, right? This one's too big. Oof. Let's kind of break it up a bit. Add in some kind of those kinds of elements. Right? Okay. Let's kind of separate. This could be some kind of greenery or some kind of foliage, right? We'll add some greens from this area or some yellow greens to kind of suggest it. And then we can kind of clean this area a bit with the lasso tool perhaps. Select B, use the soft brush, maybe 30% opacity, or 50% opacity, 50%. Right, there you go. We have a clear kind of edge. So it's 42 minutes now. Let's flip the canvas back. You know what? I don't like the way the kind of antennas are turning out. We can select this part. Control Shift C, Control V, Control T to kind of move it around. Okay. Okay. Do the same thing here. Control Shift C, Control V, Control T, distort, bring it kind of like that. Control E to bring or merge it down. Bam bam. Oh shit. Okay. We'll kind of clean up the edges of that part with shit. What brush did I use? This brush, I think, right? And just do that and make it more kind of symmetrical, I guess. And notice I'm actually kind of zoomed out. I'm not very focused in on how this thing looks in this kind of view, right? Because we're trying to get a quick concept out and painting something good enough for an R. So it's kind of a speed painting, I guess, or a classic kind of sketch, concept art sketch. Let's make this side darker, just a bit. And you want to focus the lights on this area. Where are the whites? Again, we're just using a simple circle brush right now. Oh, Jesus. We can go in finer and add in some nice detailed lines, right? Very cool. I actually miss, well, not miss, I don't miss, but you know, I actually did go to architecture school, but as you can see, I haven't actually my favorite part about school or architecture school was actually the visualization part, the illustrations. I never really kind of liked the the whole, like, it wasn't my dream, you know, to design houses for folks and kind of build buildings, you know what I mean? I just wanted to be the kind of visual guy, and even when it comes to architectural visualization, I never really liked the like, it was still kind of too, I was still focused in on the buildings, and or obviously since it's architecture, the only thing you'll be able to visualize is the kind of architecture, and that was kind of boring for me. I think it was a great experience though. I did learn a thing or two about design, and so yeah. Because I think in the Philippines, because I did study in UST, the University of Santo Tomas. There really isn't kind of a course for concept art. There's no kind of design school that tackles entertainment design, I think, and it's kind of sad. And by the way, I didn't actually graduate from college. Technically, I'm a college dropout. So yeah, feels kind of cool. Rebel. But yeah, I just kind of decided one day to not do it, you know? I think I was procrastinating so much. Not just in general, but I believe the procrastination came, or maybe the reason why I really procrastinated a lot in or back in college was because I was procrastinating on, it feels kind of cheesy to say this, but maybe it was because I was procrastinating on my kind of dream of being kind of an artist, right? And maybe that's why my subconscious was not was kind of attacking me, and I was kind of self-sabotaging myself, you know what I mean? That could be a possibility, but oh fuck, I'm focusing too much on the foreground. Oh my god. Let's define this kind of antenna thing a little more. Okay, I'm back. I just got some water. I ran out of my liquids. Okay, so what can we fix and kind of figure out? Maybe the antenna. We'll kind of find a nice kind of design for it. I'm not sure how to fix this, but I think we can find a way. Use the lasso tool. We can define the edge a bit, perhaps. Hit the background color and kind of erase that part, perhaps. Right? Same thing here. Clean the edge up a bit. Clean the edge up a bit. Let's find a way. You know what? Let's kind of clean the top part. Bring in some of that kind of grayish orange kind of thing. It's looking too bad. Looking bad. Maybe this kind of back part is too undefined for me, so we can fix that a bit. Right? And we're painting on one layer, right? So you don't have to make multiple layers, I think. I think it helps to kind of simplify your process and kind of solve most of the problems by just painting. I think that's a good way to save time. Just be more bold, or try to be more bold with your strokes. And yeah. I still don't like where this is going. Perhaps we can define the edge in this area. Right? Like that? Does it work? I don't know. Let's do this. Select this color and then clean up that edge, perhaps. Yeah. Alright, go in manually. Boom. Boom. I think we're too zoomed in, I think. Okay. Select a smaller, or make the brush size smaller. Hit the darker value in the shadows. And we can use that to kind of add in some nice kind of details in that way. It's not necessarily a detail, it's more of a to help kind of define the edges more, or the design just a little more. Okay, that's something. It's a kind of antenna, a very kind of sci-fi antenna. Let's add in some reds, right, for these parts right here. Okay, they're kind of I'm not sure what they're called. You can see them in a lot of like on tops of buildings to help with some kind of signaling, I guess. add in a lighter value color. I feel like it's not too strong for me. Even on top here, I think it's a good idea. Maybe white? Yep, better. Better. And then we'll bring in some darks. Right? I think we're too zoomed in. Let's zoom out a bit, just like that. You know what? Let's kind of minimize this a bit. Okay. Ugh. Hit F. Sorry, to kind of cycle through the different viewing modes. So, oh shit, it's 52 minutes. Fuck. I think we could spend the remaining time just adding a few more extra stuff, I guess. Notice I actually did not spend too much time in the background because obviously the main kind of subject would have to be this building or this kind of structure, and yeah, and you have to kind of be efficient when you have a kind of time limit. For me, the time limit for this thing is an hour, since I'm doing technically some kind of tutorial / demo. Right? Add in some extra kind of lights. Maybe some reds. Oh shit, who keeps banging that door? Okay, we can do that. So we're actually curving this corner a bit. Not sure why, but it can help with the design. Given this thing is mostly sharp, we can kind of soften it up a bit by curving out some kind of or some parts of it, right? Maybe the entrance is somewhere here. We can block that out. Bring in some lighter colors to define the kind of opening a bit. Right? Not bad. This one's actually a pretty good kind of a concept sketch for some kind of building, I think. Not too bad. Not too bad. $54 minutes. What else can we do? Again, I have no idea where this was going, but I had a kind of general concept during the black and white sketch phase, and then determined the colors using one interesting photo, which I did like. And then after applying the colors on the blacks and the whites, I focused and developed the atmosphere a bit to kind of add some depth or atmosphere. And then from there I did some paint over, which I'm kind of still doing now. Fuck. To kind of define it and the concept even more, right? Okay. You know what? Let's work on the background just a bit, because I think we've kind of established the. You know what? Let's clean up this edge a bit. The building concept. It's not too bad. Missiles? Not sure. You know what? Let's add some kind of smoke, right? Let's use. Jesus, why are. Oh, fuck. Sorry about that. If you can hear any of that. I did click the soft brush, right? And we'll set the opacity to 50%. Maybe kind of do this. And then just do that. To kind of just add some kind of smoke. Maybe there is some kind of filtration system, perhaps, or some kind of exhaust system going on here. Assuming this is some kind of station, right? Kind of makes sense, right? And it also adds to the atmosphere. And shit. By the way, if you can hear something in the background, I apologize for that. I don't like it when Anyway, you know what? I think the background is a bit too strong, so we'll hit the. Oh, we have the soft brush. Put the opacity to just 10%, so we can kind of gradually, or 10%, and gradually lighten the top parts a bit, because I feel like it's too strong. So this part is tricky because obviously there is a part of the building that's kind of merging with the background, right? Oh shit. I think I moved. Okay. I'm back. No worries, no worries. Okay, not bad. Oh, this could actually be some kind of building in the background. Let's try to define that more. Circle brush. Hit this. And do that kind of thing. Yep, looks actual. It looks like an actual kind of building. Let's add in some colors. You know what? I think this sand part is a bit too strong. So let's lighten that up a bit, or darken it up a bit, by bringing in some blues, right? Okay, not too bad. I do want to have some kind of lighting to go on in this background. Since we have 1 minute, we can kind of play with that concept, right? Yep, we have 1 minute left-ish. Make the brush smaller, and just a 1 pixel kind of brush, and we can actually suggest some kind of a lighting. Bring in some whites. Now obviously it's too far back, so you won't be able to see it as much, but you want to be able to suggest the kind of city kind of feel. Bring in some oranges, right? And kind of suggest some kind of life going on, even though it's not natural life. If you add some lights to a thing, it does kind of signify that someone's living on it in a way, or it's kind of being used by something, so it can feel a little more alive that way. So it's okay. I think we can stop there. It's an hour. So let's kind of do a recap of our little tutorial today. Okay, let's do a recap. Okay. So at first we had a black and white sketch to kind of determine the general idea of this concept. It's a very rough idea, but we did do a nice simple sketch in black and white. And we did keep the sketch to just a black and a white, right? And from there, we did our little technique using the blending modes. First, taking on the blacks and making sure we hit these specific stuff, right? From there, we hit on the whites, right? And we used the kind of darken, multiply, color burn, darker color, whatever. Yeah, and we also played with some of the levels to kind of bring up some of the textures a bit, because sometimes the actual original photo won't always work, so you have to be able to adjust it using some kind of adjustment layer, or maybe just hitting Control U, Control B, or Control L. That's usually what I go for when adjusting colors, levels, brightness, and stuff like that. So after adding in some colors to the black and white sketch, I did bring in some atmosphere, and it did have this black and white adjustment layer on to help guide my values, and I did use the levels to achieve that atmosphere, right? Once that was done, I turn off the black and white, and then I do a paint over, right? So again, black and white, colors or base colors, atmosphere, paint over. And in 1 hour, we were able to create a very simple concept, which is something that could be, or it's kind of enough to be talked about, presented, and from here I think you can get some feedback and make some changes and develop this idea even more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. I know this is not the kind of typical tutorial you'll see on YouTube, where it's very kind of short, succinct, and yeah, I'm just not gonna be that guy. Not just to be kind of different, but because I don't have the time to kind of make a short video. I know that sounds weird, but I just feel like I can do this kind of live demo tutorial thing much better, and it's kind of easier for me to do. So I hope this video helps. Keep painting and stay free.